You can't replace the best midfield the Premiership's ever seen. How can you even get in there?
You can, because he was carried. He wasn't a player. He wasn't a baller.
Who?
Who you going to say?
Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. He's not.
Roy Keane wasn't a baller. He was not a baller. He was not a baller.
This is the
I don't
biggest,
care what you say.
Oh my God.
He was not a baller.
What's happening, people? It's the Visuals Peak, and I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is COVID-free. Today on the Retro Show, we're going to do something slightly different. It won't be about retro gaming, it will be about football, but it won't be about today's football. It will be about football at a time where players weren't getting silly salaries, a time where players weren't rolling around the ground like Neymar after a slight touch, and a time where there was no social media, where players didn't interact with fans, what we have today. So my guests today are Jon, who's an Arsenal fan. Nice to meet you, Jon. And Azim, who's a Man United fan, who, by the way, thinks Mason Greenwood is better than Haaland. We're not going to talk about that today. We'll talk about that another day. Today, we will discuss a combined Man United and Arsenal starting 11 of the Premier League era. So, without talking any further, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so what formation would you choose for an Arsenal Man United?
Well, going on previous Arsenal squads, I would say 4-4-2, which is the classic Arsenal formation. It worked well through years and years before football evolved into what it is now. 4-4-2 was the way forward. You had a number 10 who was the creator, and you had a number 9 who was the striker. Yeah. But both would chip in with goals and both would cause a threat. So yeah, I would go 4-4-2 as the formation.
Do you agree, Azim?
I think it's only fair to do both, because the reason is we were lucky enough to see just the period of when it was changing, evolving from a 4-4-2 to a 4-4-3, and most of the players we're probably going to pick have played in both formations, so it's only fair. Plus, I want to be able to put some Arsenal players in it.
Oh, there's going to be Arsenal players in it, trust me. Trust me.
Alright, cool. So we're starting with 4-4-2, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's in goal?
Nah, this one, I've toyed with this in my head, but I'm going to give this one to a United player because I think consistently, for how long he did it, Schmeichel was the best out of all the goalkeepers.
Do I need to say anything else? Yeah.
But
cool.
I will say Seaman and Lehmann could easily push him close for this spot. But yeah, I'll give it.
Wouldn't you say Van der Sar is probably ahead of them two?
No, not at all. Not
Maybe
even
not
close.
Ahead of Lehmann.
Not even close.
Oh my God.
Not even close.
So you think Lehmann is better than Van der Sar?
Yeah, 100%.
I disagree.
100%.
I like Van der Sar was next level.
I didn't rate Van der Sar as highly as everyone rated him, but then I don't rate De Gea as highly as everyone rates him. So
I would rate Van der Sar higher than De Gea.
Yeah, a lot.
Because his overall play with his distribution and everything else is a lot better. Like, for some reason, all we think De Gea can do is stop shots. His distribution's awful. If you ever watch him, every time he gets the ball, we're all like got our head in our hands, waiting him to mess up or make a mistake. But yeah.
Alright, cool. So Schmeichel as goalkeeper, yeah?
Yeah.
Left back.
Ashley Cole, 100%. Best left back in the Premier League era.
No matter what I say,
in the Premier League era, he's the best left back.
I've got to concede, because to be fair, even if I was going to choose a left back from United, I wouldn't choose Evra. I would have chosen.
Closest to Ashley Cole.
Dennis Irwin was better.
Who?
Dennis Irwin, week in, week out, was a top. But I can't argue what I've seen Ashley Cole do at the big stage, where he's marked Ronaldo out of a game. I've never seen anybody else, apart from Maldini, in that position do that. So I've got to hold out. He's probably the best left back in the Premiership era. It's not even close.
Alright. Right back.
Gary Neville. Though I did consider a Liverpool player. It was between Arsenal player. It was between Lauren and was it Dixon?
Dixon.
But I thought overall, for both aspects of the game, I would pick Gary Neville. I don't think there was anyone who's as good defensively as him. There was probably defenders like Lauren who was better going forward, but I would pick Gary Neville.
Would you agree?
I'm not sure I would, just for the sake that Gary Neville himself has said that him, his brother, and Nicky Butt were like not great players, but they played with great players to make them look a lot better than what they were. Lauren, considering he started as a midfielder and converted to a right back, I think he was fantastic. Going forward, he was fantastic, but he got the defensive side down, and he was part of the invincible team. So for me, I would pick Lauren ahead of Neville.
You could pick invincible or treble, so it's kind of like that's kind of up for debate.
We'll go with Neville because he got the decision on Ashley Cole.
No, but then let's argue that one later, because I think that's one of the hardest positions to probably argue.
It is. It was the one I was toying over with.
That's the hardest one.
That one.
Neville and Lauren, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what about centre-backs? Who would you guys choose?
See, this is hard. This is extremely hard, because the only Arsenal player I did consider was Tony Adams. But then there's two United players I can't see dropping, because when I'm picking this team, I'm not just thinking about how good they were there. I'm thinking about, can those attributes transfer into the game today? So that's why I had Rio and Stam. But that's because they're both great on the ball, both great defenders, both got pace at their peak.
So you wouldn't pick Vidic?
No.
But look at the strikers he was facing at the time.
Jaap Stam won best player 2 years in a row. In the UEFA, voted in the best defender 2 years in a row.
So you pick Rio Ferdinand over Vidic?
Yeah. Because, okay, does he transfer to today?
Vidic?
He's not as good playing the ball out from the back, which everyone seems to do, even if they can't do it anymore. So that's how I picked my team. But then, as I said, the only Arsenal players, because Tony Adams is probably defensively one of the best I've seen. But then
I would say you just got to look at what Wenger done for Adams. Adams, 98, he's won the ball in his defence. He's made a 60-yard run and he's volleyed the ball in with his left foot from a pass from Bold. Right. That's on Wenger to change the players. So if your players can't adapt, I reckon Vidic would adapt to this and he would murder the strikers that are in the Premier League at the moment. Yeah. Like he is one of the most solid defenders that any team has ever signed. More than Jaap Stam. For me, Vidic is up there. And for me, you've got to have Adams because...
Jaap Stam... Oh no, but seriously, Jaap Stam is the best defender I've seen at United. Like, because back then, how attacking we used to play, a lot of the time it would be one-on-one defending, and we've seen what happened to Vidic a couple of times, one-on-one defending, where I've never seen anyone rip Jaap Stam apart. Can anybody remember a game where anybody ripped him apart? Any game? I can't remember a single game. And Fergie, who's been so stubborn, has admitted that is his biggest mistake by selling him. And I think Rio's being overlooked here. He was the first ball-playing English centre-half we had. So how can you not have him? And look what he's won. What has he not won? The only thing he hasn't won is an FA Cup.
Yeah, he's won that, but
that's the only thing he hasn't.
You can't always say just because he's won that, because you've got to have a special team around you to win that. Exactly. Yes, he was good. But for me, I look at not just their skill set. I look at how they adapt to different managers. He never really had.
He did. He played for 3 different clubs. He played for West Ham, then he plays for Leeds. And United, even at that time, what makes Fergie so great? We've changed our system. We did when Rio first came in 2001, 2002. We played a certain way. Then we went to the 4-3-3. Then we went to a 4-5-1. So we adapted and changed how we played in Europe, because we used to get battered. Do you remember just when Mourinho came in? And how we would always start off slowly, and then slowly we realised that, look, we can't do this because by Christmas we'll be out of the league. And then we slowly and surely...
Yeah, it was because Fergie used to sack the coaches each one, years. And then he used to bring in the next one to bring fresh ideas, and that's what he used to do, and it helped him. It worked. In longevity-wise,
I think it's only fair. I think fair. Look, to be honest with you, if you said to me...
said Adams.
Yeah, I think Adams is because to be honest with you, defensively, all around, I have not seen a better defender, like out of them, even better than Jaap. But as an all-round player, I don't think you can drop Rio.
Would you drop Rio or Stam? One has to go.
But I wouldn't even drop Stam. But the thing is, if I had to pick, I think Jaap Stam is the best defender I've seen.
Okay, so if that's the choice, if I've got Rio or Stam, yeah, all right, I'll go with Rio. I'll keep it a British backline there.
All right, cool. So John, pick a left winger.
Right, this is where it gets really difficult. really difficult. I think I'm going to have to concede this one because even though he was a United player, he was one of my favourite players that I've watched, even though he's a dirty dog, but still, that's nothing to do with football. Ryan Giggs, only player to score in every single season that he's played in the Premier League. You can't not have him in. I would say there is an argument with Pires. If Pires didn't get his injuries and he got his longevity, then maybe because Pires was on another level. He was so intelligent of where the ball was dropping. He would always be in the right place, and so I'd say just Ryan Giggs.
You know, I was thinking about this, and the thing is, if we're playing a 4-4-2, people are going to say Ronaldo, but I think Beckham played better as a right winger, as a part of a four, than Ronaldo.
It's a fair argument, but
but this is the thing. You have to. At what period did Ronaldo play right wing? He played right wing before like the 2007, 2008, 2006. So he wasn't the Ronaldo you're thinking about then. We have to judge him about how they were then, innit? And as a right winger in a system where you need to cross the ball, how can you not have Beckham?
It's true. How can you not have Beckham?
But obviously, as a player, Ronaldo's head and shoulders above him, innit? But as a right winger, you name me a better crosser of the ball.
Yeah. At that time, exactly. At that time, that's true.
That's my only thinking behind it.
I would go with Ronaldo just because I want to fit Ronaldo in the team there, and he's not going to get in. He's not going to get in the forward positions because he didn't play enough in the Premier League era to warrant a start in the Premier League.
But as a United fan, I can't put you somewhere where you've hardly played. Because the whole point of a team is, look, we're not just doing a fantasy team that works. The team has to work, innit? And if you've got strikers up front who need service, you can't have somebody who's not going to cross the ball.
Would you pick him over Giggs?
No, you can't.
Okay.
But I'm being honest because the way
that's fair enough.
I don't know what John thinks, but he never played right wing long enough. By the time he came in, it was more 4-3-3, so he didn't really play as a right.
So where
winger.
would you fit Ronaldo in this team?
He doesn't get in.
To be there.
No, but he doesn't get in because.
Do you agree with that?
Okay. If I understand, I understand what he's saying, and all right.
Because it's about a system as well. And if I'm playing against I think with Beckham, I'll be more solid both ways as well.
Alright, cool. Pick a centre mid.
Has to be Viera. There isn't many a player in the Premier League era that I've seen come close to him.
I know what he's gonna say.
He doesn't get in. He doesn't get in.
He had the full.
You can't replace the best midfield the Premiership's ever seen. How can you even get in there?
You can, because he was carried. He wasn't a player. He wasn't a baller. Who are you going to say?
Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. He's not.
Roy Keane wasn't a baller. He was not a baller. He was not a baller. I don't care what you say.
Oh my God.
He was not a baller. The guy was not a baller. He even admitted it himself. He wasn't a baller. He got the ball and he gave it on to better players.
Okay.
I'll give you Scholes. Scholes is in my midfield. I'll give you Scholes. I'll give you Scholes.
Scholes is the best
in my midfield.
Scholes is the biggest travesty in English football. You had a bunch of managers that had no balls whatsoever and did not see the talent. If he was any other nationality, they would have built a team around him.
Yeah, for England, the managers there were fucking clueless with Scholes. Like, absolutely clueless. They didn't have a clue. Like, how they didn't get the best out of him is on them. Yeah. It's not on him. It's on them because...
But then back to your Keane point, right? I admit, it's not, if you match him up about attributes and what they can do, Viera wins, but then there's a thing called influence and leadership. The leadership and influence Roy Keane had on that team.
Viera had that though.
Yeah, but
he had that.
The years that Keane was
in, we won the league with Christopher Ray playing as a backup striker. Yeah, that's on Viera and players like that raised them up. Like these players, I ain't seen United win with these rubbish players. Like,
what number have I got in the back of my shoe? Whose number was that? I can't. Okay, it's difficult. I can't not have, because look, for what he won, you cannot not have him. Yeah, he won a lot more than Viera did.
But again,
you didn't even pick Ronaldo.
No, but what he won at United is not the same as what Beckham won. Who won more league titles?
Again, that's as a team. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was the heartbeat. He was arguably it's not even without a doubt. All the players we've had when he was there, he was the most important. And it's not even like close. The 1 year we didn't win the league, he had his crucial ligaments, didn't he? And he was out. But apart from that, nearly every other year he was playing, we won the league. How can you not have him?
So who would you choose, Scholes or Keane then?
I'm having both. You can't not pick the best midfield.
No, as in, I have to share it out.
Okay, but then the midfield won't work, innit? You can't not have Scholes. Because how can you not pick Scholes? Because the way those systems used to work is one would hold, most of them box to box, and you need one person who's creative. Yeah. I can't give up Keane. Come on, how can I give up Roy Keane?
Oh. You have to. He had to give up some as well.
No, but he had no choice. Like a blind man could see those players would get in. No, there wasn't even a conversation.
Was that against Juventus?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, come on. That's what I mean. That year is some of the best. Okay, you know what? Can we come back to that?
All right.
I think up front would be quite an easy choice, to be honest with you. I'll go first because Henry cannot not be in this side.
Henry.
Yeah, he cannot be in this side because some of the stuff I saw him do was just I've never seen on a football pitch before.
He for me is still, he holds the bar as the best foreign import in the Premier League.
The only thing with that though is I just wish he was here a bit longer, innit? Because I think...
Who's been there longer than him though?
How many years was he there? Was he 5 or was it a bit longer?
He was there, we signed him 2000, no it wasn't.
It was after Anelka left, didn't it? I think it was about 2002 or 1.
It was 2000, or the 2000 season I think, we signed him.
Yeah.
And he stayed there. He stayed there a long time because he was there when we moved to the Emirates.
Yeah.
Like, so
when was that?
You know what I mean? We moved there.
But how long has Errol been at City for?
Oh, he's been there longer.
So he's been there longer than Thierry. He's been at Arsenal.
Yeah, but this is where I figure I'll pick Henry over Aguero because I'm sorry, like
Henry for me, his numbers just dwarf anyone's for goals and assists.
Yeah.
Goals and assists. That's every season, constantly.
Plus, I think defending was a lot better.
In double nut, and you look at the standard of defenders there, and you ask any one of them. Rio, I watched an interview with him the other day. The only player they was ever scared of when he looked across in the tunnel was Henry to see if he was on it. If he was there and he just had his eyes fixed, that's it. You ain't got a chance. He's gonna dust you off regardless. Like
so, Thierry, you choose a centre forward.
Nah, this is tough. See, if I'm playing in that system and I'm playing with Henry, I would go with Bergkamp. But there is an argument, obviously, for Rooney to be in there because he's obviously the top scorer in Man United's history. So there's a battle going on in my head. Bergkamp has done things I've never seen any player do, including Henry. He's done things that I've just been like... I just heard a podcast with Ian Wright at home the other day, and he was saying first couple of games in training, he kept making runs and the ball kept hitting him in the back of the legs, and he was like, he didn't understand why. And then Bergkamp was like, well, maybe you just need to pause for that split second or move to the right just... And Bergkamp could see things that other people they wouldn't see. So for me in that system, for it to work how it was with a 4-4-2, I would go with Bergkamp, even though Rooney provided more goals than Bergkamp.
I'm gonna argue with this. Come on, you cannot pick Rooney. He's England's top scorer.
Yeah.
He's England's all-time top scorer. He's United's all-time top scorer. And
I'll give him that. And I said it is close.
And overall as a player, Rooney was just bad. Rooney is just one of those weird people where when he was at his peak, it was scary. He was like
pace, dribble, shot, everything.
Like people like Henry, like Bergkamp is more of a conductor.
Right. Supplier.
But he was never like unplayable. Like he was for like certain moments, but over at their peak, Henry and Rooney are people where like they were unplayable.
And the thing about Rooney, he had a lot of partnerships as well.
And also, looking at modern day football, what does everyone like doing now? Pressing.
Yeah, pressing. Yeah.
He was pressing before any of it became fashionable. So I think there's no way you cannot have Wayne Rooney in there, even though his like downturn when he's actually thinking happened quite quick. That's probably happened because he played football as a 16-year-old. But there's no way just the way you put Henry in there, you cannot not have Wayne Rooney in there. Because as you said, the numbers, to be, England's all-time best goal scorer.
I'll concede on that for Rooney.
And also for
I'll
United.
put Rooney in.
Also for United, just to be part of the team, he played a lot of his football on the left. And he sacrificed himself for the team. Otherwise, his numbers would have been even better now. But I actually think if he was playing in modern day now, he probably wouldn't play as a centre forward. He'd probably be playing the number 10 now. Would you agree? Because he'd be the perfect number 10.
He would be, yeah. All right, guys. That was a very good... Oh, actually, hold on. Centre mid. You said come back to it.
I think you're going to have to get you're going to have to be referee and pick between Keane and... But it's a bit unfair. He's an Arsenal fan, so I wonder what he's going to say.
But it's two Man United players.
No, but that doesn't matter. It's about who is better. Like, overall...
It's hard, man.
But you got to realise it's not just about natural ability. Like, I read somewhere where they said everyone's got natural ability at this level. It's about mentality and heart, and about just that killer instinct. Who had more of a killing instinct than Roy Keane? We've been trying to replace him as the captain ever since he's left. No one's ever gotten close.
Van der Beek.
Come on.
Bench.
Come on, pick one then.
Scholes.
No, Scholes has to go in.
Yeah.
But then is it Viera or
Yeah,
Steve?
but it was his pick.
Oh.
Yeah, come on. Centre forward. I gave you Henry.
No, but it's not about what gave me. It's like, it's obvious.
I have to be fair, isn't it? Like left back, right back.
All right.
Listen, I conceded on Rooney. I've put him in my team.
No, but that's the thing. You've conceded, but Rooney, there's no way you can not. There's probably strikers who are more lethal with him, but then I'm thinking about at their best. You can't think about overall. You have to think about at their best.
Yeah, but you kept going back to in the setup and how they worked within the setup.
Yeah.
In that setup, Henry was so devastating because he had a Dennis Bergkamp there doing what he did.
Rooney could do everything.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Henry would have done it anyway because he could do a whole team on his own. But Bergkamp was so effective with him. That's why I said him first. But I'll concede Rooney if you want your numbers up. Henry and Rooney, if you imagine them two together, it would just be a disgrace. They would just have to close the Premiership down every year because it would be game over. The numbers that they produce, like both of them high in the stats level as well for assists as well as goals. So it would be ridiculous.
I was watching the highlights of Man United v Charlton yesterday. And when Van Nistelrooy chested it and volleyed it in.
Yeah, it was on.
Now forget that goal, yeah. How did he dribble past all those players and that little chip to Van Nistelrooy?
Because that's
why I kept rewinding. Forget the goal.
But I think it was Rooney.
And his weak foot as well.
Yeah.
His weak foot.
That's what I mean. Because he had everything as a footballer. I just think I don't know this. But did he take care of himself as much as he should have? Because he was the sort of player. If he went out injured, it would take him about 6-7 games just to get back, like we saw with England, didn't it? We never saw him.
Yeah.
Fit. That's probably one of the reasons why we never even had a chance. But to be, was it a 17-year-old? Where he's gone in with Gerrard, Lampard, Viera and all of them, and he was by far the best player on the pitch. And he was just, England are cursed, isn't it? England are cursed.
Yeah. I just think they've never had a good manager, other than when Terry Venables was manager. Terry Venables was another level. He's how he fell off managing. He must have done something really dodgy behind the scenes.
There's whispers, isn't there?
For him to fall off because he had such great ideas as a manager. I watched the behind the scenes of England's '96, and the stuff he was coming out with was revolutionary back then. And I was just like, this guy, he knows.
He was playing wing backs at the time.
He knows his stuff. He just fell off and disappeared, and then they haven't replaced him since. Glenn Hoddle had one season where he had a lot of good players and he waited too long to bring them in the team. But Glenn Hoddle I've got a beef
with as well. How could you not take Letizia to that '98 World Cup?
Oh yeah, he should have been. You need to have a player like that, even if it's just on the bench to come and try and change a game. Letizia was one of the most underrated players of all time, and it was only because he couldn't be bothered to train. That was just him naturally. They said when he was in training, he would just stick it in the top corner because he couldn't be bothered to run. And he was just like, why didn't you do that? He was like, why did you shoot from there. Because I couldn't be bothered to run. And if you've got the ability to do it, power to you, man.
He played as he played as a number 10, didn't he? Really?
Yeah.
And his penalty record, you should have just taken him just for his penalty record. I think he missed one.
Yeah,
Didn't he just miss one in his whole life?
Yeah, one in his whole career.
What did England get knocked out on 98 again, remind me?
Yeah, penalties.
And in the group, actually the match before the squad came out, he played in an England A game. He scored a hat-trick.
And that, though, I had a major beef with them going out in that World Cup on penalties, because you had someone like Paul Ince who had a strike on him, he had a dig on him, and he turned his back on the penalties and said, no, I'm not taking one. Didn't even look, didn't even bother. And he let Gareth Southgate go up and take penalties. Same in 98, done exactly the same thing again, and let the guy go. And I'm just like, how can you do that? If you're a midfielder with any ounce of attacking breadth in you, if you've scored a goal from 30 yards, you should be taking a penalty. You've got a shot on you. You should be taking a penalty, and you should be confident about it. All footballers should be left and right foot confident, and they should be able to take a penalty. That is a standard. You're getting paid grands to play this game. That most people, I pay to play football. I pay every week to play football. I'm like, I'm paying to do the thing that you're doing, and someone's paying you ridiculous amounts. You need to be able to take a penalty. You need to be able to play with both feet. That's just so a given. True, you know.
But how many can?
Exactly.
You can't all be Mason Greenwood, can you?
Yeah. What was that?
He had to sneak him in there, didn't he?
Okay. I know it's about current football. You name me a better finisher with both feet you've seen in modern football.
With both feet?
Both feet. With both feet.
With both feet. Not a striker, but I'll name you one who's a better finisher with both feet, and that was Santi Cazorla. The guy was.
I was going to say him as well.
He was a different gravy.
You're talking about modern, isn't it?
Different
modern.
gravy. He is modern.
Nah, not on the same level.
No.
As Mason Greenwood.
Don't get me wrong.
No, finishing. Look, this is the thing. I'm just talking about finishing. I have not seen a finisher like this since Robbie Fowler. But that's just going way back, because Robbie Fowler, I think, is one of the most clinical finishers I've ever seen in my life. Another England travesty. Do you remember what he used to do to Arsenal? Didn't he get a hat-trick in like 12 minutes? Am I right?
Yeah, he did.
He used to rape Arsenal, honestly. You know what Drogba used to do? Robbie Fowler. He's the one person that's made us look stupid many a time. Probably one of the best strikers I've ever seen. Until his injury, right? I think.
Yeah,
he got really
his
bad
injury, and he was a cokehead as well, which didn't help. Like, and the thing was, he actually took the piss out of it in one of the games, because he went and snorted the line. During one of the games. Not Coke. He went along. He scored a goal, and his celebration was him doing the touchline.
Probably a bit young for that. I don't remember. Imagine it. At one point, England had people who couldn't. Robbie Fowler couldn't get into the team. It was Les Ferdinand, Andy Cole, Les Ferdinand. That was the people who couldn't even get into the team. Any of them would just walk into the team.
And Ian Wright as well.
Yeah,
Ian Wright never.
And Ian Wright would get into the squad though, but I'm talking about the others. He wouldn't even get into the team.
But they never got the run, and I'm just like, hold on a second. If you're going on form of the players, like when you got players banging in 20, 30 goals a season, like Ferdinand was doing it, Cole was doing it, Wright was doing it, they didn't get the thing.
Shearer was untouchable. That's because he from the period of, was it 93 to about 97, 98, he had 35 or 30 every season. It was ridiculous.
Shearer was another level striker. He was an all-round striker as well. He
just didn't have the pace though, did he? That's the only thing he was missing.
Dirty, very dirty.
That's what
like one of the dirtiest strikers that has got away with so much, like in the Prem. But there was better level of defenders then, and the defenders would take it off you, but they would give it back to you. Like, I've seen a few tear-ups with him and a few of the players, so yeah.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Leave your comments below. I know there's going to be a lot of disagreements. Please leave your comments, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe.